Okay, so now we get to Chinese script. Let me see how much time we've got. Oh, okay, we've got an hour, right? Chinese script, self-love and self-care. Okay, so this has nothing to do with self-love and self-care. This is just a Chinese word that illustrates how Chinese characters kind of work. Some characters are pictures like this one, and some that we're gonna see are concepts. So this is like 3 peaks, and this is a word for mountain. So this is 1 peak, this is 1 peak, this is 1 peak. That makes sense. You know, like when they draw the mountain like this? That's what this represents. Does that make sense? All right, great. So let's get into self-love and self-care. Now, please, these characters originally look like cave drawings. They originally looked a little closer to what they represent, but over thousands of years, the word each of the characters or words was stylized to make it easier to write them. Because if you're drawing, or could you imagine writing an exam where you have to draw every single word? It would take way too long. So they simplify the script and they make it very stylized, right? Okay, so this is a word for I, me, or my. This is it here. And it's made up of 2 components. This is a hand, so like a hand. These are the fingers. Why there are 6, I can't tell you, but they stylized it into look like this, right? I guess this is like the extension coming here, and like these here would be the fingers. So this is a hand, and this represents a spear, javelin. And this is their concept of I, me, and my. And I would love to invite you guys to tell me why you think they have that as I, me, and my. A hand, the hand is on this side, and the spear is on this side. And this line is saying that they're interlocked. So the hand is holding the spear. So a little hint, we're talking about self-love and self-care. Now that could sound as if we're making everything about us, right? But there's a balance to self-love and self-care. What happens if we make everything about us? What does this word tell you? What do you think? By the way, there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, it's like poetry, you know. Once your idea, you can explain it logically, it's fine. Anybody want to give this a try?
For me, I just looking at it and I'm seeing 3 and thinking of um, me, myself, and God, like, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 in 1.
Okay,
You
all
know,
right.
I don't know.
All right, fair enough. True. I mean, me, myself, and I mean, God is 3 in 1. But if you look at the script itself and the picture that it paints of a hand holding a spear, what does that remind you of? Like, why would somebody be holding a spear?
To defend themselves.
Yeah, to defend themselves. That's true. Um, or the opposite of that, maybe to attack somebody. Okay, well, I'll save you guys a little headache. Since nobody's offering a response. But I think I once had a student that I introduced this to, a Mexican guy, and he said this is like a picture of, he thinks, at least he thinks it's a picture of being a predator, like a hand interlocked with a spear. When everything is about me, myself, and I, we can become very predatory. Does that make sense? You know, like when you only think about yourself, what you could get for yourself, looking out for number 1, then we don't care if we mash if we trample people underfoot to get where we want to get to. But you know, Nicole, what you said about self-defense isn't wrong either. And I guess self, in the context of what we're talking about, self-love and self-care, when I think about me, I need to defend myself. That is self-love and that is self-care. Self-hate is when we let anybody do anything they want with us. Self-love is when we have the courage and the strength to defend ourselves. So what you said made sense, Nicole. So you could see it either way. Does that make sense? I don't know if anybody has anything they want to add to that. Nope. All right. I'm going to move on. Whoops. Okay. This is the word for self. And by the way, Chinese does not have letters. It only has words.